Hunted Nightmare. Switch to best of 3 for this other draft. The thing is, I prefer playing best of 3. I just really don't understand why it's not ranked. Like, it would make me feel a lot happier if it was ranked. Which is really, like, there's some slight differences in payout between the two. Because I would just prefer playing best of 3. So you can feel safer mulliganing or taking some risks. But yeah, it's unfortunate that I graphed ended that way, but, you know. Ooh, okay. So pack 1, pick 1 companions is a whole other beast. Starting deck contains any cards with CMC 3 or greater and land cards. And enter battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with CMC 3 or greater. I mean, you got to, really. It'd be rude not to. It would be rude not to. So yeah, let's take Ikoria and build around it if we can. I mean, this doesn't help with that. Oh, if we hadn't picked Ikoria, I'd be looking like Dorat, Swallowhole, or Zagoth member. We don't strictly have to be Simic for this. I think it might be Greater Sandworm, just because it cycles. Oh yeah, I don't have to have it as a companion. Which means I could... I mean, I really rate Dorat. I also really rate the Zagoth member, as we know. I'm going to take the Mamba. Because black-green, when it comes together, is very strong. I mean, I really like the Mentors. And putting counters on Tramplers is a big game. Goes very well with Ikoria. And yeah, it seems like just a solid card. So I'll take the Horn Bashmental. Okay, well I'm definitely taking Parcel Beast. My concern is we're not seeing black. I would prefer to go black-green. But Parcel Beast is fantastic. There's a lot of white being passed as well, so it might end up in Bant, potentially. Yeah, definitely taking Parcel Beast. Bootnip is decent, but Frostlinks is also pretty solid. And there's a case to be made for Frostlinks and for Bootnipper and Divine Arrow, to be honest. But yeah, we're a bit more into blue than black right now, which I know is a silly thing to say on pack 4, but I would encourage myself to play Parcel Beast in any way I can. I'm going to take an Otter. White continues to come through. And again, this doesn't have to be green, we're not being green. But Otter's the best card. And Otter's like the second best card, and then there's Checkpoint Officers after that. And if another good white card comes through, it might be time to switch, unless we've put our opponent into white already. Which we may have, to be honest. Glimmerbell, I mean, of One Mind is just very strong. I really like it. We have one human at the moment, but I mean, this is just divination on its own, as a worst case scenario. Deadweight is here, but it doesn't feel like a deadweight set. Okay, that's a late boon. And a late of One Mind as well. This feels somewhat late. But yeah, definitely blue seems open again. Although, even when blue's open, like, I don't know if it's just people really, like, it's because I always see this card come round, and of One Mind. I don't know if people just don't rate those cards, or I'm overrating them. and because it's the Dreamtail herons that never come around, or the Wingspan Mentors. Yeah, the Mentors are uncommon, but it's definitely the Dreamtail Heron's the one where I look at and I'm just like, that's the card that feels like it should. Like that's when you know it's definitely open at common. Sorry, I've just dropped a bunch of needles on myself. I mean, that's a late Snare Tactician as well. It really is. I'm gonna head. Is White gonna be open after all the stuff we passed? Maybe, maybe not. But a Snare Tactician has a lot more upside than everything else here, I think. I like the Sandworm more than the Mammoth just because it cycles. There's a case there for the Blossoming Sands as well, but I mean, that pick of the Snare Tactician was just because everything else sucked in that pack, I think. I can't imagine White's going to be open after everything we've passed. I'm going to take a Boot Nipper, better than everything else here. Like, my fear is green isn't open from where we're being passed to, and we'll, unless we can pick up a whole chunk of it in pack 2, we might struggle a bit. Take a Wind. And it might be that we want to move into black and play blue-black, like splashing, well not splashing, playing this and maybe splashing the Parcel Beast. But so far this looks like it could be pretty solid. If we're not playing black, everything fits Karuga right now. So pretty late channel for us. I'll take the Wilk though. Yeah, I think that last draft felt solid, but okay, I'll take a fully grown. But yeah, it just seems to be that I'm just not having much success with this format at all. I don't know why people keep picking the basic lands out of these packs. Okay, well, I'm just gonna. Okay, there's a lot of things to consider in this pack. What does this do, and is it splashable? 3 mana Flying First Strike. 3/3. Mutate for 1 hybrid. I don't know if we can backdoor into that. Trumpeting Gnar is going to fit whatever colours we end up playing. It's pretty good. I mean, it's that or Boon, but I think the Gnar maybe has upside and it is a game-winning card. This could be wrong. It feels like if we are blue-green, we'll get something round. Even if it's like a Phase Dolphin or a Survivor's Bond. Farfinder's also a potential one. Oh wow, okay. Well, a second Hornbash Mentor. Like, we don't have many Tramplers, but it creates the Trampler. That's also a potential, like, Charger Forever Beast potential pick. I would love to splash back for more. Yeah, let's keep bashing. Kind of want a second Gnar, but we will need removal, and Ram Through is pretty good for that. It kind of goes with the trample theme. Not much blue coming through in the first 2 past packs. Yeah, this is kind of what I suspected, is that we'd get lots of green this pack. It feels like there's not much blue here again. Possibly getting cut on it. I'll take a migration path though, because if we end up splashing something, then that will help us, and it cycles in the worst case. So, in case we end up needing to go black green. So late Necropanther. The Mammoth is solid. At this point I want to take a Farfinder though, because I feel like we're going to have to splash something. And, you know, it's a solid card. Fills the curve, gets the land. Even if we're not splashing, we've got some restrictive mana costs, to say the least. And a lot of our top end is more expensive. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, well, if blue was open, I would not expect to see a green tail heron here, unless the pack was amazing. And definitely not passing that up. Really, really rate green tail heron. I'm going to hide these black cards for now. Do I not just cut black? I mean, I'm not seeing enough black cards to go with here at the moment. I mean, we've got these two in the sideboard, but I didn't see anything that particularly compelled me to work when the green cards were pretty decent. Oh right, I've already cut it from the deck. I'll finally get a honey mammoth. As much as the crystal might come in handy, we've got ways to fix. Like the crystals are fine if you need them, but I'd rather not play them if I could avoid it. I mean, it feels like we've got some solid stuff here. I'd like to see just a couple more like game-winning type cards, and maybe like another ram through or a capture sphere. Yeah, that's why you're right to say there's not many 2-drops here. Is this every card has to be it? Yeah, because at the moment the wilts I can live out. Losing ram through would be unfortunate, as would essence scatter. So. That is late for a Skull Prophet. That's late for a Skull Prophet. I think there's more upside in case we get a slew of black in picking that rather than a land, given our fixing situation's alright. Could do with maybe some more mutate cards. Like, I'd love to get a Migratory Greathorn. But I do suspect that Desert. The Ghost of Randy Savage. But I do suspect that the person who'll be passing to us next turn is in green. Survivor's Bond's a nice little pick up there. Although I'm not sure how many humans we have. 2. And it's just a return either way. I don't know if we're going full Karuga. I'd take the Memory Leak, because I'd probably play an off-colour Psycho up before the third one goes. Oh, okay. Obosh the Prey Piercer. We only have one even card. Oh no, we have more than that. Okay, there's actually a lot going on here. Obosh is probably actually not that amazing. Blood Curdle is splashable for us. Archipelago, though, we didn't get to see it at its best last draft, but it is so strong. There's also a Charged Forever Beast here. I mean, we're not splashing for a Bosch. It's either the Curdle or the Archipelago, and I'm kind of leaning towards the Archipelago. Yeah. Feels like it'll win more games. There's opportunity of another boon, but this feels like we're not a boon deck. We've got some nice mutate synergies, and I really like trumpeting Gnar. Might regret it, but this feels right. And I'd like to get this symbiote back. I feel like we'll get something back out of like these three: symbiote, sandworm, and mysterious egg. And potentially, well, I mean, Pacifi's going to come around, but I would potentially splash it if it did. Okay, there we go. Polywog symbiote, or here as it is, Baby Godzilla. We've got a decent amount of mutate. I really wish this breakdown had mechanics on it. And if not, it's a solid 2-drop, and we're taking it over everything else. But we've got like 1 mutate, 2 mutate, 4, 5. So yeah, definitely taking that. How much cycling do we have? 2. Maybe not enough. Maybe not enough. But, I mean, would we play Anticipate? With this curve, we might. As much as I don't want to. I don't like Crustacean. We're not going to pick up enough cyclists for that. As much as I don't think we'll pick up enough cyclists for that, and on its own it's not good enough, I don't think. I'll put a fully grown on. The trample helps us. I do like Leader Stampede. A little bit concerned that our creature curve is maybe quite high. Might want Facet Reader. We've got decent card here as it is. Actually no, I want to try Lead the Stampede. I think it might be better. Ooh, Charging Forever Beast came around. I'm going to actually take that. It is removal. I do like Thieving Otter, but we do need some sort of removal. I do kind of like having a Pterodon in Menace in Mutate decks. And Phased Dolphin does work with your Otter, but Pterodon is one of those that will occasionally just buy you a win. I'm definitely taking the second one of these. Like if you have like a Pterodon and then you like mutate something onto it, you just then have this sudden massive threat. I don't want another 7-drop, and the egg is good mutate fodder. Start cutting stuff from this. I'm not sure what will start going from this actually. It's a weird deck. It's best of 3. There might be a reason for Convolute. I'm going to take a short break after this draft finishes before deck building. Again, there's more reason to take stuff like this in best of 3. In the odd situations where you might want to bring it in. Okay, we'll back to deck building in a second. I'm back. I'm not sure why Twitch is doing that. Okay, this deck needs some cuts. I don't necessarily think it's worth playing Ikoria as a companion. Okay, well, let's have a look at the mutate element here and see how much we want these payoffs. We have 6 cards that mutate and 1 payoff card in the egg, and the egg honestly just helps our curve a bit, so I'm happy with keeping the mutator. Let's bin anticipate, and with 2 humans, let's ditch one of the survivor's bonds at least. Still fine with the of one mind even as this is a cycler. Lead the Stampede with 15 creatures. Does anyone want to do the maths on how likely that is to hit? I've yet to see anyone play this card or play with it, so it might not be good. But it does feel like 3 mana in our deck, like 3 mana deal free. So I mean, I like that. And the Hornbashes just seem pretty solid. Lynx. I mean, do I like Otter more than I should? It's possible. Pterodon's pretty weak. The main reason it would be in the deck is to make a big hexproof mutator, so maybe we don't need that. Probably would rather play Honey Mammoth. Farfinder kind of ramps us when we've got some stuff at 6, 5 and 7. Very much struggling with what to cut here. Is Honey Mammoth just too mediocre as 6 mana 6/6? Possibly. 14 creatures. Lead the Stampede if you play it on turn 3. You've already seen 9 cards. Lead the Stampede might not be good enough here. I'm not sure. Although Essence Scatter, I mean, with our curve largely stuck at 3, Essence Scatter might be too slow. Like, obviously you can use it later on, but there's a chance it's going to be a dead draw. I'll try it with Lead the Stampede. I'm really not convinced this is the best build. This curve is very odd, but we'll give it a go. This is how we'll learn. I'd be happy to get a 2-1 here. There's definitely power in the deck. Like, it's definitely lacking that like one massive bomb. I mean, it might be Ikoria. I mean, you get to play Ikoria with 2 other creatures. That is a 5 mana draw 3, get a 3/3. Get 5/4 even. Okay, I like this. We've got an early play, something to mutate onto it, removal and some draw. So this feels solid. Opponent's down to 6. And is playing swamps. And plainses. Okay, so this looks like it'll be a humans deck. Got options here. Farfinder ensures that we hit our 4th land drop. Otter offers the potential of heralding onto it and drawing 2 cards next turn. Nah, I don't want to play now. Hornbash isn't great value. I think Farfinder gives us a mutate target, fixes our mana. You just want the consistency. Okay, so definitely humans. Can't mutate that yet. I want to have 2 bodies out this turn, or remove something. I think because next turn I'd want to mutate onto the Farfinder. So I'm going to take the hits anyway. I think it honestly might be the Hornbash Mentor. Because if we're going to mutate onto the Farfinder, then it becomes a free with trample that we get to grow, and this offers a solid block in itself. There's Sanctuary Lockdown. I mean, we do have 2 wilts in our sideboard. I've got a Dire Tactics here as well, that's pretty rough. Man, we are... And we're taking it just because we need the mutate. And that's not going to give us great blocks, but it's what we got. And the white-black humans deck, when it comes together, curves out very quickly. I mean, obviously these are both good, but you know, the actual creatures don't need to be great. Okay. Will I attack this turn? That's the question. Would hazard maybe not. They could wait till next turn. They can also start tapping stuff down. Oh. I think we're just dead. Yeah. I wasn't expecting to get killed on turn 5. Ouch. Okay, so let's maybe take out some of the slower things. So let's take out lead. Let's take out of 1 mind. Let's bring in 1 wilt. Don't think I want 2. Let's bring in Essence Scatter. Actually, Essence Scatter we could rid of. Kind of like Crustacean can do some nice blocks. This might not be the game for Thieving Otter either. Well, anything we bring in has to be higher on the curve. I can't see how we bring in 2 crustaceans. I feel like if we can just go up the ground, we eventually will take over the game. And just my fear about Essence Scatter is just drawing it on turn 5 when they've already got a board state. And we've already got 1 in the deck. Okay, that's fine. Say solid hand. But yeah, off a Malta 6, that was a very strong opening from the opponent. I think that's the kind of terror of black-white humans, is that it can really get out of hand very quickly, and something as innocuous as Perimeter Captain can add up a lot. I mean, them having the anthem obviously helps them a lot as well. If they, depending on what they play this turn, we might hold on to the boon. Ugh. I'm probably being greedy holding on to the Gnar here. Ugh. I'm surprised that isn't the companion. Lurrus is nasty for us to try and deal with. Do not like seeing that at all. Okay. Let's build out a board state. And then next turn, if we play Karuga, we draw 3 cards? Again, how greedy do I want to be and see if I can save up to draw 4? Probably not. Although, it depends on doing anything. Because we get to hold up this. No, let's not be greedy, let's just be sensible. Like, I'm certain they have some sort of removal spell in hand. It's probably a Blood Curdle. Yeah. So just waiting doesn't do much. Does it not count itself? Each other permanent. Okay, so that wasn't amazing. Probably should have waited for Crustacean in that case, but here we are. We still have a 5/4. Nice still board to build out a board state. And it does ask the question how we're going to kind of smash through this at some point. I mean, we've got Flyers, we've got Archipelago, and Greater Sandworm, but yeah, okay. Well, this is where hopefully we'll get a bit of a blowout. And it can tap some stuff down in response. Yeah. It's good to get it off the board, and I'm happy to just whittle down their board where possible. Seems like this is one of those I'm looking at being like, how are we going to win? Ooh, another Blood Curdle is not fun. It seems like a good deck. Like, they've got a lot of the key uncommons, they've got a Lurrus, 2 Blood Curdles. It looks good. Okay, so they're sending in some dorks. There's definitely a combat trick here, but probably one we can deal with fully grown. Oh, this is Menace. Okay, well that's fine. We'll get that later. Oh no, well actually no, even if it's Lurking Deadeye, we've got an Essence Scatter. So this will work out in our favour. rather have essence scattered that, actually. Flooding out a bit here now. And this is gonna make some more humans. Pressure is definitely on. I mean, I'm just kind of glad there's nothing that can start recurring with Lurrus yet, but the one thing to watch out for is that Lurrus and that is a loop. And one I'm not entirely sure how to deal with. I mean, I'm gonna... Why do I care about losing the most? Like, this has the potential to get us somewhere. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4 mutators. And if we've got another lurking Deadeye, that's very frustrating, but this is just a free attack for them because of Lurrus. That's the problem. Okay, looks like they don't have it, but again, they can just keep testing us like that. Good lord. This was the fear. I'm actually going to do this now, just to dissuade them from further attacks. And if we draw a Hornbash Mentor, this suddenly gets quite good for us. Oh my god, 3 blood curdles. Ugh. I guess the block didn't matter, but wow, this person's deck is very good. 3 blood curdles, a dire tactics, a human buffer. Oh, I can't block either of those. So painful. I'm taking here 10. And I think we're doomed either way. And if they'd attacked with Lurrus, we would have died. I think they're being weirdly protective of this, really. Oh, and another lurking Deadeye? Wow. I mean, sometimes there's nothing you can do. I feel like our opponent just had a vastly superior deck. I don't know if I just really just don't get this format, because I feel like I keep drafting decks that are pretty good, but I'm just not getting anywhere with the results. That's the Margin. This is not great, but we can play the majority of our hand. I honestly have no idea. I think it may be the Gnar we actually get rid of here, because this sets us up to one of one mind and draw our way out of this. But yeah, that last game was brutal. Absolutely brutal. And I'm slightly concerned that I'm seeing plain Swamp on the other side again. It might just be Black-White, might just be the best deck in the format, I don't know. I mean, I think that the archetypes I've been most impressed by when I've played against them, because I've not had the chance to play with them, has been Black-White and Green-Black. Not attacking because of Divine Arrow. Which we can start protecting against next turn if we need to, but I'm mostly concerned with ensuring we get to do this for 1 mana. Named Serval. This is still Divine Arrow mana. I don't know if that's just because it could just be that black is just, again, a very strong colour. like it was in Feros, where it's just like it has all these where you just look at it, it's like it's got all these removal spells that are common. But yeah, black just seems to be very deep. And okay, pacifism on that is actually completely fine. We can still activate the ability. I'm going to start attacking here because they don't have great blocks, and now if they do have Divine Arrow, we've got fully grown. And if we get to fully grown in response, we then have Form Bashmenta to grow it. Oh, unlikely aid. That's gonna... This just gets around that, right? It doesn't die, but neither does ours, and we still get to draw a card. And we hold up Essence Scatter as well. I'm quite happy with that as an outcome. Ah, missing colour. Let that resolve. Maybe we get to counter a Necropanther or something. This Charge of the Forever Beast is currently dead. Maybe playing two of those does lead to this situation. Still somewhat concerned about Divine Arrow, but we do have some play around it with the ram through the fully grown and the Horn Bash activation. Are they just letting this otter live or getting for damage? Colour me surprised at that. I'd very much like to start developing our board a bit more, but I'm kind of surprised by that. But yeah, I think the other streams in the week, that's an Essence Scatter. I do not want to deal with a 4/4 Menace Vigilance. Yeah, I think Saturday's stream will probably be standard at that point, or historic. Okay, I'll take that as a game 1 win. We'll bring in a Wilt here for the pacifism. So yeah, Saturday will probably be standard. Potentially draft. Thursday, I keep saying this, we will be back to Suikoden on Thursday. That's not great, but I think it's keepable. Because obviously we didn't last week because it was pre-release. The week before that I had some issues, and it just hasn't kind of come together for Suikoden in the last couple of weeks. But actually change. We get to play it. I'm not cycling Boon the Life Giver because we get this Lead the Stampede, which should draw us into some action. Oh wow, did it draw us into some action. Parcel Beast, Gnar, Horn Bash Mentor. We do have to discard here, but I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. I think we lead off with the Parcel Beast. And I actually think we just hardcast this. Because I don't want to put, punt unintended, all my mysterious eggs in one basket. Because I'm going to put the Gnar on that next turn, and then after that the Archipelago. Flycatcher Girafrid, that's a 3/5. So yeah, I'd rather use the egg this way. I just, like, you don't really want the parcel beast on a creature that's attacking. But yeah, we've got pretty nice board state here, and the opponent's got 6 cards in hand. We do need to be cognizant of that. Tagia Tiger. Okay. I'm just gonna go for the tempo here. Like a 7/7 or an 8/8 or a 9/9 actually. Tap both those down. Attack for a lot. When it works, it works. And the opponent hasn't interacted with us at all, which does not help their cause. But yeah, that was a hell of a swing. Okay, the fun is over there, but unless they have another blocker, they need another 2 blockers. Are we going to get fogged or... okay. Well, that feels like how it's supposed to go. That feels like how it's supposed to go. So 1 and 1. Oh, I've got a pack. It's the Ikoria pack. I'm going to open it now. Well, it'll be gems when I draft it. Oh. Okay, I got confused. Yeah, so... the difference is just you get a pack versus 3 packs and 1,000 gems. I think I do prefer drafting in this one though. Just the best of free nature means that we've got sideboard things like an Evanescent Scatter and the Wilts. This is a sketchy one with no creatures, but we do have a divination. We've got a cycle, and if we draw any creature, this is early removal. I say any creature. If we draw one of our creatures, it's early removal. Again, with the boon, I'm not going to cycle it immediately. I'm going to see how the board state develops from the opponent before deciding. Say if they commit nothing to the board here, then we might as well just take the turn off. Green-white. Symbiote. Okay, don't feel like I need to cycle here. Okay, this is shaping up nicely. We do now have a deal 7 with the Greater Sandworm, so even if they mutate on here with something like a Vulpikeep, we just get to wang that down pretty quickly. Ooh, Lava Bring Venturer. We've chosen odd. That legitimately might be a real problem. Because that doesn't kill it anymore. Well, let's go searching out basics. We actually only have 1 card that's even that deals with that card. That's really quite problematic. It's also an excellent illustration of why I absolutely loathe cards like this. It was my problem with Haktos. Oh, I'm just going to block here. I'm going to need to buy time. It was like my real problem with like Haktos in Pharos is just sometimes your opponent plays it and that's just the game. And there's just no fun in that at all. And this is the thing is, the quirk of our deck, or whatever you want to say, is that outside of like trumpeting beast tokens or this parcel beast, we just have nothing that deals with that. And it's unfortunate. I could play Karuga here, but it's just a 5/4 that can't block any of this, so I'm going to go looking for answers. I'm discarding the lands. I think best hope is Baby Godzilla blocking with fully grown. And the opponent is somewhat running out of cards a bit, so and then we'll need to find an answer to this as well. Okay, didn't mutate the Great Horn. Find that a curious decision. I'm gonna go for the mutate. I don't think I want that at this point. And then we can play Horn Bash. Put the counter there. So now this can block Lava Ring Venturer, provided they don't have like a pacifism or something. We might be getting somewhere close to stabilising, although we still need an answer to this Helica Glider. And the Volk going on top of it is not ideal. And this is one of the downsides to blue-green, is if you don't have any capture spheres, you do kind of lack in the removal department. Okay, they're battling with everything. I have to block here, otherwise we'd just die next turn. If they've got a pump spell for this Venturer, then we're very much in problems. But we're definitely boarding incrustations next turn. I feel like they could have killed us there. And we need to find Dreamtail Heron and like a mysterious egg off this, I think. But even then, I don't think that's enough. We could find a Frost Lynx and something. No. Okay, well that's unfortunate. Plummet seems decent. I'm just going to mix up some of the CMC values here. Yeah, just because I honestly felt we're in a pretty solid position that game, if not for the Lava Ring Venturer. Just added on so much damage before we could get anywhere. This is okay. But yeah, I'm very much not a fan of cards like that. Like, True Name Nemesis is a mistake unto itself, but I really don't like these protection from... Like, protection generally, I didn't like in Limited anyway, but the whole, you know, roll the dice, occasionally you just win the game. isn't particularly appealing. And from the other side as well, you know, I've had Hacktoss before, and it's just like you drew the wrong CMC, and now you've played a 4-mana 6/1 that just dies. I kind of wish they did the thing that they had in Dominaria instead, where it was like hexproof from CMC, so you can't just removal it, but you can still block it. Because I don't think it's interesting for either player to just have a 7-turn clock that you can't interact with. Opponent's mulligan to 5. So we'll see what they've got to offer. Looks like they've got some decent mutating going on. Cycling. It's possibly looking for lands. We do lose the value of the trample counter here, but you know, we get it down. And we get to play Green-tailed Heron on 4 potentially, and just apply some pressure. That's partially influenced by the fact, you know, if you're cycling on turn 2 after mulliganing to 5, you're probably just looking for creatures. Yep, there we go, we're picking odd again. Can't mutate on, so let's just ramp. Now, hopefully we can find some of our answers here. It'll be very frustrating to just lose out if that's what happens. It's the same 2 cards. And we do have an answer for the Helica Glider this time at least. Didn't attack with the Lava Bring Venturer. Surprised by that. I'm going to play Heron at full cost here, with the aim to Trumpeting Gnar onto it next turn. Get a beast out of it. And that would be quite nice because the beasts can block this Lava Brink. Gemstone Recluse is a very good card. I kind of wish we had some ourselves. Because that's going to become a pretty big threat. Okay, well, drawing that Charge Lefroy Beast is quite nice, because if they don't mutate onto the Recluse this turn, then we can kill that with Karuga. The fear is, you know, we know they've got a Vulpikeet. It didn't mutate that. I feel like that might come back to bite them. I would have easily mutated onto that, just because, you know, at that point you're getting a lot of value. Well, let's attack in the air first. Okay, we're just they're just clicking through. So let's get a Horn Bash onto our Heron, because we want to grow that. And let's hope this is going to work. Okay, it does. Well, that works out quite nicely. And we're going to draw 3 cards next turn off Karuga, hopefully. We've shut down the Adventurer for now. But yeah, they could have avoided that by... Oh wow, they got another Glowstone Recluse. And one thing I'll say for best of 3, it does feel like you run into higher quality decks. So that's a 5/6. But this only has reach, it doesn't have flying. And, you know, to be fair, we can just kind of sit back and grow the Heron. Now, does this have a no CMC, or is it a CMC of 0? I think the double block could go very wrong. I'm going to take that for now. Because Crustacean could get in the way. Completely competently. And that's what I'll do. Although I could definitely eat up some turns with the Let's see if they block. Oh, why am I attacking? Larvabrain gets a free block here. Whoops. Well, that was a poor choice. Yeah, so I get a free block with the Farfinder in the interim. And Crustacean can come down at some point as well. Yeah, I think next turn we pull the trigger on Karuga. So does the token count? Let's find out. The token counts. So if they've got a removal spell, they probably want to use it here now. If that gets like the Divine Arrow out of the hand, then that would be nice. And we know they've got the thing that gives trample, but we do need to be wary of. +2/+2 and a flying counter. Ugh. Okay, well the Crustacean doesn't matter now, so let's grow our Heron. I've got another one. I mean, that was a pretty fantastic top deck. Because we get to reload. Oh, into Essence Scatter as well. Okay, well we didn't have a blunder with that one attack, but our sideboarding definitely helped there. Feels like this is kind of mutate on and go big in the air. So kind of makes me want to bring the other Essence Scatter, to be honest. Yeah, we'll swap that for a Lead the Stampede. And they are doing, the opponent's doing well to not put all their eggs in one basket with these mutates. Yeah. We've got the cycling. I know that's not a lot to put it behind, but our deck doesn't mulligan particularly well, is what I've found. And the Plummet feels like it's going to be quite key in this matchup. Again, I cycle maybe a little later than I should, but it does feel like if you're not under pressure, then don't throw away a draw 4. Well, there's a flyer, and there's another land. I mean, hopefully the adage of flood beating screw pays off. Hopefully they go for like a Vulpikeet on this or something. Moscow Goriak. Okay, well Heron's quite nice. I'm hoping there's a greedy mutate onto something, particularly the Glider, because then our Plummet gets a lot of value. I will also accept that. I don't think there's a white combat trick that gives indestructible. do that. Then our Heron will hopefully be able to deal with Glider. I mean, the way this has panned out, and this is why I didn't cycle the Gift Giver early, is that we only have 8 lands left in our deck and we get to draw 4 next turn. I mean, the fear is they put like a Gemstone Recluse onto this. Absolutely not taking this block. The opponent has also hit all their lane drops, so not great horning onto that. Well, let's draw 4. I mean, that could have been better. I mean, it could have been better, to say the least. But I mean, at this point, a lot of our draws are live. A Migration Path can mitigate that somewhat. Next turn we play Frostlinks and Hornbash. Okay, well they definitely have the combat trick and they're pushing it now. So I'm going to tap down the Trampler. I'm going to put the counter here. At this point I will take blocks because I feel like I have to. It feels very risky to let this through at this point. And while we could grow it, next turn. Okay, so why would you make an attack with this Benign Symbiote? I don't think there's a combat trick that kills us outright. I know I was just saying that I was going to take the block, but I don't think there's a combat trick that kills us outright. But I do think there's a chance that if we block here, this gets Divine Arrowed or killed, whereas using this next turn does stop that from happening. And it is risky at 4 life, going down to 4, to be fair, knowing that they've already got a Trampler here. But I do feel, yeah. I do feel like had we blocked there, they still would have got in for 1, and then they'd have an unabated flyer. Oh, tense. And if they've got another one of these, if they've got like that many fully growns, then so be it. Okay.
How do you know?
That may kill us. Because this has trample. I think it does, if they realise that. If they attack with everything. I still think it's right to not block here. Oh, okay, they didn't realise that. I'm pretty sure that was lethal if they wanted it. Okay, let's desperately find answers. So let's build a bigger board state as we can. And let's hold up Essence Scatter for any like mutate shenanigans, because the fact that both of these have trample is a real problem, and we need to kind of stop any mutating to make either of them bigger. And even if we hold up the mana, we can still activate this. And I'm still not entirely sure. This makes it just a 3/4, right? Still have to scatter it, I think. Just because if it does get bigger, and it could get bigger with a Gemstone Recluse, If it does get bigger in any way, if they've got a combat trick, which they've shown they can have, then the trample will do us in. I wish we had something big enough to cut through here. I'm gonna not play this yet and save the mana to flash in Crustacean if we need it. You can get cycled at this point. Oh, I guess that's another reason to just keep the Gnar in hand. Okay, now we have a way to attack. I'd be very pleased to get away with a win here. A tapper is annoying. A tapper is definitely annoying. That kind of takes away one of our ways of attacking. Let's be mana efficient and just get this out. That will be the last attack we can get in with that for a while. Oh, I've not been ticking that up. We don't have another charge to Forever Beast, so we can just mutate this out now. At this point, I just want to actually build up to a big attack and put out as many bodies as possible. Get another land. I mean, at this point, the odds of us drawing land are diminishing. And we have like a lot of things that can, like Wingfeld Pterodon would be pretty good. Archipelago will be pretty bonkers at this point. Yeah, I might need to do the maths and see if we can just attack with everything. I'm thinking of aggressively tapping, because I wouldn't recommend that. Archipelago is probably our best draw. Although Pterodon is not far off. We have 7 attackers, and they have 3 blockers. In that scenario, we get through at 8 at minimum, and they can swing back and kill us. So this is not yet the time. As much as I would love to put that on hexproof, it's the flyer right now. And we also need a flyer because the thing that kills us from their side is a Vulpikeet. If they put it on this, that becomes a 5/6 trampler. Oh wow, well it's a good job that I called that before it happened. That's going to kill us, I think, because they can just tap it down now. Just not quite quick enough. I assume they see the line here. And maybe they're a little bit wary because if they attack and it doesn't work, then we will just win. I'm very curious what the last card in hand is. I really, based on how the game's gone, I really feel like it's a Divine Arrow. Okay, they didn't go for it. And this gives us another potential draw. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm not going to use it yet. Or should I? It's a pump spell that gets us, but I don't think I've got a pump spell. So the idea is, go to combat, they're going to tap down this. Although can they at this point? They really just need the blockers. In fact... If we attack with everything here, it's 3 blockers. Which means 4 of our things get through, which is at least a 1, 1, 3 and a 3, which is 8. And if they've got a divine arrow, then it's 5. But deal damage equal to its power to creature you don't control. Oh, it can't be divine arrow. They've tapped out for that. Oh god. I think if we attack with everything, we can use the ram through to just finish off the game. But I don't have the time to do the maths, so... So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hope they aggressively go to tap this down and then kill the Great Horn. And if they don't do that, then potentially... Because I mean... Oh, if this didn't have trample... Because if they don't attack, we are kind of slowly growing this ram through Heron with the Hornbash Mentor. I should probably just be going for it. Because this is going to get through for at least 5. Maybe not now. Okay. Ugh, so tense. And I guess this ram through is kind of... I guess the thing I'm most scared of is that they've got a pump spell for this, and I think they've just forgotten that has trample. I really think they've forgotten this has trample. I mean, they're scared of something from our side, otherwise they'd be tapping down this Pterodon. And they might do now, because they're worried about swingbacks. And now they've got another flying blocker, maybe they're less worried about that. Okay. Okay, well they've gone for it, so now our hand is forced. Okay, so we could have pretty much gone for that at any point. I should have pumped before doing that. Making mistakes here. Yeah, I couldn't tell if I'd lethal last turn, and normally I would have gone for it if not for the fact I just completely die on swingbacks. But now I think they're pretty close to dead. Okay, well this should definitely do it. So this is 11 in the air, but it's going to get bigger because this Hornbash is going to grow both of them. Being super safe here, to be honest. 4 blockers back, they've got 5 attackers in them. I'm probably playing this way too safe. I think it's just lethal anyway. I guess it depends if they've got something that gives us indestructible, but then we can just assign all the trample damage over. I don't think there's any flash mutate. What's the silly fog? Oh, they could have fog, but I think the fog costs 3 and a green. I think the fog casts 3 and a green. If they've got fog, then fog, right? Like, it's the one thing I would have not played around in this scenario. Okay, it was fine. Oh, that was a tense one. The blue shark is if they were splashing the blue shark, then fair dues. Okay, well that works out quite well. In the end. Whew. Ooh, got a rare reward. Mantle of the Wolf. Well, 1,000 gems, 4 packs, a Mastery Orb. I've not bought the pass. Which of these am I most likely to play? Spontaneous Flight. Well, that was a tense one to finish on. I probably could have definitely like arranged my plays better, but it worked out in the end. Give me some standard spice. We're going to get a mythic wild card at least. So this card's got to get really good with Garuda in the format, right? Play Esper to do it at instant speed. Where's the mythic? Crystalline Giant. Great and limited. Meh for standard. Sick. Okay, definitely. I'm happy to open as many lands as possible because they're all going to come up at some point, particularly in the Eternal formats. And Labyrinth Raptor. I feel like this card, this is one of the things I most want to first pick in draft because it feels like if you pick around that, there's just no way you could lose. Okay, well, we ended on a high note there with that 2-1, and I don't think there's much we could have done about the first game there, but you know, it all came together. Happy with that result. Back streaming Thursday for Suikoden 1, Saturday for more Magic. Possibly more. We'll see. There's a lot of time to fill right now in the world, and whether I eventually take the plunge on the Final Fantasy remake or not. But yeah, thanks for coming. I upload all these to YouTube at youtube.com/thesonata. Otherwise, have a lovely evening. Also, if you don't follow, hit follow. Apparently, if I get to 50, that's good according to Twitch. So, wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't mind it. Have a good one.